Hey everyone, how's it going? So I'm actually on holiday at the moment, but I'm basically going to be camping for probably best part of a week, and I'm going to use this Mercedes EQV, not just to travel in with the family, but to actually camp in. So we're just loading the van up at the moment. It obviously can take loads of stuff, it's brilliantly practical, but what's it going to be like to actually camp in? Well, I'm about to find out. I hope it's okay. 2 adults, 1 child, 1 dog for best part of a week. See how it goes. This is actually normally a 7-seater, basically taking all the seats out apart from 1 in the back here, and then now 2 in the front. There's our dog. This is Daniel. Daniel's saying, I'm going with you, you're definitely not going to leave me behind. So right, I think we're nearly there. I think we nearly got everything. We've got fridges, we've got awnings, we've got bedding, so let's hit the road. Okay, so this is mainly going to be about kind of practicality and trying to make a camper van out of an electric van, which is normally a 7-seat shuttle bus and a mobile office and events van, but we love this vehicle, it's been brilliant. But I'm going to reset the trip. So as we are here now about to leave home, I've got 93% of the battery, and I've just reset the trip here, and I've got 216 miles of range indicated at the moment. I don't think we're going to be doing a particularly high mileage. We're staying for a couple of nights, really not very far away at all, but then we might go on from there to other places. And I guess, you know, as we're using a van and even just using it on a campsite with energy, maybe the heating running overnight or for the morning or something like that, you know, how many days, how long can we go, what's it going to be like trying to charge this vehicle as we live with it for camping. So I'll try and log all a bit of that kind of stuff as we go, and we'll see what happens in this video. I don't really know yet. Hopefully it's something interesting. I don't think there's many people that do much camping with electric vehicles, but it's something that is coming through quite a lot. So how much energy do we need? This Mercedes EQV is fairly unique amongst vans in that it does have a 100 kilowatt hour battery, so it is a big battery pack. And on the road I have driven comfortably over 200 miles with this van. I think I could get a real world range of 230, 240 without trying too much, although we do still have at the moment our alloy wheels, which do cost it a bit of range. So we've got these bigger wheels on the van, which I haven't swapped back round. They do cost a little bit of efficiency, but yeah, let's see where we go. Let's see what we use up. I think we're ready to go. Come here, it's my daughter, Sophia. No. Right, let's hit the road. We're going to finish loading up. Bye bye for now. So we've just completed our first night. It wasn't too bad actually. Let me show you what we've done to this van to kind of adapt it a little bit for some camping. I think what's pretty urgent is this awning. So this is a fairly cheap awning, just online, and you've got 3 poles there. You can adjust the height of them, give yourself some different angles, but typical British weather. It has been raining this morning, so we kind of put this one down tighter so this can drain off. But to get the awning on, you do have to install an awning rail. So I just simply put this aluminium rail on the van. In fact, I'll show you on this side. So within the sort of gutter here, I installed this rail that goes under the kind of original roof bars, and with that you can slide in this awning here. So that's done a pretty good job, pretty essential, quite an easy little modification. And then what did we do inside? Well, we had our daughter here, and then myself and my wife in the back, plus a dog on top of us. So that worked pretty well, and was really comfortable. The one that's urgent thing I think is to have these kind of window blinds. So again, these are pretty cheap, they're online and already cut and fitted to the shape of all the windows of this van, and then just uses some suction pads. And you can actually have these either way around. You've got black on one side, silver on the other. I think if it's hot you'd have the silver side on the other side to reflect the heat. It doesn't matter too much, but it makes it nice and dark and cozy inside. And as always, excuse the tip, clothes, everything everywhere. We're just starting to sort out some things for the day now, plus all our usual camping gear, but it's working pretty well. So there you go, our first night camping. I think because we're taking up all the space in the van, what is useful is to have, like, we've got a little pop-up tent here just to put stuff in, so kind of again cases and clothes and bits for the family. But it works pretty well, pretty good little rig. This is our friend's little camper van there. All good, just need it to stop raining really, but there we go, that's British weather for you, British camping. So we'll see how we continue over the next few days. So we just had our second night in the van. It was pretty comfortable, wasn't it? Yeah. This is my daughter Sophia, she's a bit shy. So what we actually did for last night was take out that other 3rd seat, and that's just gone in our storage tent. So now we've got a double bed space here, and then our daughter across here, and some kind of useful gap in the middle just for putting jumpers and shoes and stuff. So what's good in this van is you've got nice drink bottle holders, nice bit of storage space down here, and even 12-volt sockets. And what we did was just have these windows vented a little bit in the night. And then it actually got quite cold, didn't it? It was quite cold early this morning. So the good thing about an electric vehicle is, of course, you can put the heating on without having to start engines and stuff like that. So put the heating on, you can even just do it from your phone if you wanted to, or you could turn the ignition on. Or in the Mercedes, there's actually a button just to run the ventilation, a bit like the Teslas do as well. So it's quite good. One thing, like any camping, you want to kind of make sure all your interior lights are off. You still don't want to drain a 12-volt, but even with the interior lights defaulted to off, you can still just kind of hit one button here. That's for a little reading light as you get sorted out. And then what I'm enjoying at the moment is sitting in the van with a kind of back window. It's got this split tailgate. It's nice, isn't it? Yeah. You can sit here in the sun with a view. You can imagine sitting, you know, over fields, looking at the ocean, or even a forest campsite like this one. So it's pretty good, isn't it? Comfortable couple of nights. Enjoying it? Yeah. You are enjoying it. So yeah, very good. We had quite a lot of rain yesterday, and this is where the awning proved very useful. So the awning just gave us that shelter, so you can have the door open without rain coming in. And actually, if you get the awning right across, then again it stops rain coming in through this window if that was open. But it's proven to be a pretty capable camper. I think if you're doing it a lot, you kind of could do with building some extra storage. And one way, you know, you could deal with a third person is probably build like a shelf across here. I think you could quite happily kind of split this level up, but for us and what we need, it's just not necessary, and we're quite comfortable, aren't we? Yeah. And here the sun's coming in, enjoying it.
On my legs and your feet.
Yeah.
Why's you bending your feet?
Oh, good. So bye for now. Camping trip going well, and I'll speak to you in a moment. If you're going to do camping with an electric vehicle, you're going to make sure you got a 16 amp commando socket like this, plug, sorry. Now some cars have these, like some of the Teslas have 16 amp, some of the 32 amp which are bigger, but the Model 3 has been coming with 16 amp. But if not, you can get 16 amp to 3-pin converters and even just trickle charge your car off of one of them. At the end of the day, you're normally sat parked not doing a great deal. At the moment you can see I've got this mega charging hub going on. It's to charge all our devices. But obviously if you've got an electric car, although you can use these at some campsites, obviously make sure you do ask the permission of the owners. And I think as well, if you have like a whole string of caravans and you plug in your electric car and try and draw all the power, just be careful about how much you're drawing. Again, on some cars you can just turn down how many amps you pull in, which would help stop, potentially blowing the whole line of electric. So, but that's quite handy. You can also get long versions of that and extensions. And then you can see the rig here. It's all going pretty well. Say hi, guys. Hi. Sun's coming up, it's warming up nicely. Bye for now. So day 4, and we're just going from the first campsite onto another campsite somewhere else now. So we're still not travelling too far, but the battery's down to 60%. I'm going to go and get some food from McDonald's over there. So whilst I'm doing that, I may as well plug in. I've just unplugged the car, and you can see I've still got 63%. Well, I've been plugged in for 1 minute, and I'm charging at 96 kilowatts, so I don't particularly need to charge. We're not going that far, only about another 30 miles from here, but may as well whilst I get food. So let's see how much I can add in the time it takes me to walk over to the McDonald's over there and get some food. Sophia, you're hungry? Yeah. Good, let's go and get it. There's the McDonald's. So it took me 21 minutes to go and get the McDonald's. It's really busy in there. And then another 9 minutes to eat it, so 30 minutes exactly has elapsed, and it's now straight back up to 90%. It's still charging 27 kilowatts, but time to unplug and go. That's it, topped up now. So this is our second camping location. We're in Oxfordshire, and this is the River Thames. So this is very pretty actually. Obviously the Thames is a bit smaller here, it's in London, and all the barges along there, and this is our second pitch here. It's quite a busy site, but what it is, you can probably see, it's pretty hot now. It's nice. So I don't have air conditioning at home, but my bedroom tonight does. Of course, with an electric vehicle, you can just run it, and you can run heating or air conditioning. So you can see here just how effective these blinds are. You can see how bright it is out here. But these blinds, although they're just kind of cheap stick-on things, I've turned the fallout the other way, and it's keeping it pretty cool in here. So having this bit of tailgate is great, by the way. That there is nice and cool. We've got our rig here, with a family and dog. There's Daniel, a scruffy little mutt on the floor. The van so far performing well, but like I say, over there there's a pub called the Ye Old Swan Inn, and I think I'm going to go and check that out. So we're coming to the end of day 5 now, and we're in the beautiful Cotswolds, absolutely stunning part of the UK. Been driving around quite a lot today, 3.5 hours of driving, 76 miles covered. It's all kind of pretty countryside and slow roads. And if we look here, we've split the power. We've had, for example, with the vehicle running this morning when it was cold last night to warm up, and then actually it's been a hot day to the air conditioning, but 2.2 miles per kilowatt hour actually today, which again, there's been times when I went to a National Trust place and this old dog here called Daniel was in the car on his own for a bit with the air conditioning running, so that uses more energy. But it's been a bit frustrating really. Like, it's a shame we parked in Cirencester for a couple of hours, then we parked in another little village for a while, National Trust place, and none of those places had chargers available. So I guess this is where the bigger battery of the EQV here is quite good, because it's been a couple of days since we charged. I mean, this is only today's mileage, but we last time I charged was at that fast charger on the motorway before we even got to the Cotswolds. So, but yeah, I've still got 39% of the battery remaining at the moment now, so there's still plenty. Still got to camp tonight, and tomorrow we're not really sure where we're going yet. We'll see. But in the meantime, on the British Cotswolds, very nice indeed. Been a lovely day, nice and sunny, but I think it's gonna be a cold night tonight, so we'll get our camping gear down, keep the van warm, it'll all be good. Okay, so the first hiccup really with charging, so it's been where are we in now, day 6, so about three or 4 days without charging. We've been driving all around the Cotswolds basically, and although we've stopped loads of places to visit loads of sort of nice little villages and historic places and a couple of National Trust places, there's been no charges in any of those car parks, so we haven't had a charge for say a few days and 160-70 miles now, and then we've been using the van for sort of heating and air conditioning and the dog in the car and that sort of stuff. Anyway, got down to about 12% and needed a charge, so I found on the Zap Map a charger here. Now, some of the reports of that were looking a bit flaky. Well, actually I went to a Shell recharge up the road first, about 12 miles away, and it was just busy. Actually the first time I've seen one of them that's busy, and I haven't been able to get straight on it, so I thought that's okay. We'll come to here, there's a town that we can walk around and grab a coffee and grab some lunch and stuff like that. And then as soon as I pulled in this car park, I thought, oh no, because I know this is one of these old type of chargers. Now the Zap Map report did say that some people have been having trouble with the charger and some people have had successful charge. Anyway, got here, and these units are old units, they're not really being used now. And in fact, this charger, Car and Siemens, they've been bought over or taken over by BP Pulse. However, it's not on the BP Pulse app yet, so I couldn't just plug in and start it from the app. I don't have an old RFID tag to start it from here, and it doesn't take contactless payments. Charge Your Car, again, that's now, the app for that is now basically non-functional by the look of it. Eventually, anyway, I rang the number on there, did get through to somebody, did a reset of the machine, and they have started the machine remotely. So this is now somebody, I think, from BP Pulse, as they own this now. And so they're aware there's an older machine, they're going to be changing it, and he has started to charge remotely and said that it will be free. So that's something, that's pretty good. But a bit of a pain. It actually took a 13.5-minute phone call. That was after a few minutes of me faffing around. So this one hasn't been easy, and it's disappointing because I obviously spent a lot of days saying how easy it is, and normally it is very easy, but this is one of those cases, if you were new to electric car ownership and you plugged in here to charge, it would have been a frustrating and difficult process. You probably would have given up, moved on and tried somewhere else. However, I was determined to try and get it working, plus we don't have that many options in the Cotswold with a Mercedes EQV on about 10%. So we're there now, we're charging, but not always simple and plain sailing. I will say it as it is, and this one was a little bit more difficult, took a long phone call, but we got there in the end, and at least it'll be free. So we're going to go and have lunch. You ready for lunch, Severe? Yeah, so ready for lunch now. There we go. Not always easy. Ideally, again, accommodation would have charging, but where we've been camping, we've been in a field with no electricity at all. So if we had that, we'd have always topped up. But part of this challenge was to show the real world what it's like. And if you're a campsite, a field, a hotel, or you look after car parks in the Cotswolds, get some more chargers. It would really help with tourism. So although that last charge today wasn't the easiest to get started, yeah, it served its purpose. We went and had some food and a drink, and it gave us a chance to look for somewhere to stay tonight. in that time, that wasn't that quick. It only went to about 32, 35 kilowatts, so it wasn't the fastest charger, but in the kind of hour and a half or so we were stopped there, it actually went from, I think we had about 12% up to about 60%, so it's fine to carry on driving. And all we've done actually is about another 35, 40 miles to come over to Worcestershire, this campsite that we found here. So a very nice campsite with some goats and some birds and some hens and chickens and all sorts. We've quickly got ourselves set up, awnings out, beds are made, window blinds are on, and we've got electricity here. So hooked up, plugged in, charging the car, can charge our phones. So let's see, it's not going to be the quickest charge in the world, but it will top us up quite nicely for driving tomorrow. What have we got? We've got 46% now. Only charged at 2.2 kilowatts at the moment actually, but yeah, that's fine. We'll see what we get overnight. It will top us up quite nicely to do plenty of driving tomorrow if we need it. Bye for now. I'm going to go and have a beer and a drink in the pub that's just at the bottom of that hill. Beautiful sunny morning in the Malverns. So yeah, by 7 o'clock this morning, this has added about 30-35%, and then I unplugged it and charging phones, just plugged it back in as we're about to go and view the Malvern Hills somewhere in distance over there. Beyond this little hill, there's the actual Malvern Hills, so looking forward to that. So the car, by the time we leave here in a bit, will have about 80%, enough to drive around for the day, all good. And if we stop for lunch or dinner, then we can always try and park in the car park which has a charger if we need it. But other than that, we'll just come back and again just top it up tonight if we need it. It's great to have somewhere, even if it's a slow power supply, a couple of kilowatts, it's fine just to top up your car overnight. Remember, this is a van, this is a big battery, 100 kilowatts, and not especially efficient, especially with all that gear in it, but even then that's enough to drive around locally for the day and do some sightseeing. So all good. Breakfast and we're gone. It's morning after our 7th night, and that's probably our last night now. We're going to be heading back. So yesterday we actually did quite a lot of driving. We did over 4 hours of driving all over the Malvern Hills, went to Ledbury, Tewkesbury, Worcester, all very nice places. Not a vast amount of charging options on them, so we didn't charge all day. However, it's still only about 75 miles, lots of really small, narrow lanes, steep hills, steep descents as well, sort of touring the area, which is beautiful. So even this part of the world, it's worth coming. What I would say as well, electric vehicles are great for steep hills, both when you're going up, they're nice and smooth, and when you're going down, you've got the regen braking, which works really well. Anyway, got back here last night with about 40% battery, and I've been plugged in since. Now remember, this is just using their Type 2 connection on the electric hookup here, but I don't have a Type 16 amp Type 2 for the, 16 amp Commando for the car, so I can only go via the 3-pin, so only 13 amps at best, and it's pulling about just over 2 kilowatts. So overnight that's topped it back up to 70%. Today we're going to go on to Oxford, and then from Oxford probably have a day there and then travel back down. So we've got a few miles to cover. We'll be charging at some point today. We'll see where that is as we travel and see what we've got. This is what you'll need, by the way, if you're going to go to a campsite, and you don't have a 16 amp Commando, is one of these adapters which are available from anywhere like Halfords and such like. Goes from a 16 amp to this, and then probably a long cable to go to the electric hookups. In this case, this one's going all the way around the back of the van, all the way up to over there. So again, these are quite commonly available from camping and caravanning shops, but you'll probably need one of them. And I think if you're traveling in this area, again, the annoying thing is we stop quite a lot in the daytime to walk around towns, and there hasn't really been many charging options there. It has been a bit thin on the ground. So Cotswolds, Malvern Hills, more chargers would be useful, especially for tourists and visitors. But if you are traveling this area, I do recommend trying to get some weekend charge up, even if it's a bit slowly, overnight, just to top you up. Right, let's get on with the day. We're going to pack this all down and start heading home via a few more places to visit on the way. Let's see what happens. Well, on the way back now, final stretch. So just made a quick stop at this BP Pulse. I had a 5-10 minute stop earlier at Instavolt just because I wanted to go to the Costa Coffee next to it, so that was just, may as well plug in whilst I was there. As we're travelling back now, a bit thin again, just wanted to grab a quick drink, go to the toilet, so I've gone to this big BP petrol station, BP Pulse. Got here, again the machine actually didn't work straight away. I had to just give them a call, they did a reboot, then it's all fine. I've just found out a couple of times recently with BP Pulse, give them a call, they reboot it, it's okay. Anyway, I've been here for 21 minutes, back up to 66%, that's plenty now for going home and then some. So I'm going to unplug the car now and stop that charge and get on home. Done quite a few miles today, seen a lot of scenery. Let's see what the total is when we get back. Okay, that's the end of 7 days and 7 nights of camping with a Mercedes EQV. 3 different sites, locations. So we've sort of covered the whole of this kind of area of England called the Malverns, the Cotswolds, and then even today actually just to the east of Oxford as we sort of came back along scenic route basically. So today alone I've done 210 miles and just over 7 hours of driving. Sorry, we have, my wife and daughter have just gone straight in the house. So that we did stop. I actually did 2 stops, but one wasn't really necessary. I just stopped at a Costa Coffee, and there was an Instavolt there, so I plugged in for a few minutes there. And then to actually get back, I made a short stop at a BP Pulse of 20 minutes. But I'm back home now with still 60 miles of range left, so it was longer than we needed to. Again, by the time I actually went into the shop and went to the toilet, grabbed a drink, come back out, I was just unplugging the car basically. It was done. I answered the message on my phone, so I've still got 25% of the battery left now, and that's leaving with, I think we had 68% when we left this morning. So yeah, you know, even with a van fully loaded with stuff, country lanes, traffic jams, it's a Friday evening on the bank holiday weekend, so there's been plenty of traffic, and then when there was a bit of clear motorway, I wasn't hanging around in the outside lane, certainly speed limits, you know, of course. So you know, it's been really easy, and this van has been brilliant. I have to say, I do love it. I really love this van. I think you do need the big battery, and it was sort of annoying with camping, you know, in places like the Cotswolds and the Malverns, and you're stopping all these places, yeah, Cirencester and Tewkesbury and Ledbury, and you know, there's loads of times when you stop and you walk around these lovely towns and villages and you use the main car park in town, but actually there's no chargers there. But this does go to show that even then, you know, it was actually really easy with this, because we had a little power, even with a 3-pin plug at the campsite, made it dead easy. And this van does have a fairly large battery to enable plenty of leeway, so we never got thin, never got worried, never had any issue. The only time charging has been an inconvenience to me has been when I had to call and get them to restart a charger. So you know, that's a few minutes to sort that out there, which it's that network all being changed, so that won't be the case soon. So but in total cost, including charging from home and paying for some electric hookup at the campsite, it's been about £20 worth. I'd have to add it up to be exactly precise. Let's say about £20 worth of cost of charging, and that's covering now from reset when we left here 576 miles, and these 600 miles on about £20 worth of electric. Not bad, is it? Not bad at all. That's 23 hours 22 minutes of driving time. Of course, we've lived in this van for weeks, we've been in it for a whole week, and 2.2 miles per kilowatt hour as an average from when we left here. So that's, you know, the driving around the countryside, having the heating on when it's cold in the mornings and we're just sat on the campsite, having the air conditioning on when it's been hot in the daytimes and the dog's been in the van whilst we've had a drink or something like that. I had to go into a shop or a National Trust site where he wasn't allowed. So that, I think it's not bad really for a van, 2.5 ton van, fully loaded with kit. I mean, it's pretty much worst case scenario. So you can see that this has got a 100 kilowatt hour battery. It does do over 200 miles, up to 250 miles I've had, you know, in terms of capable range of this van before. So, and actually today, 7 hours, 8 minutes of driving, 210 miles, 2.4 miles per kilowatt hour indicated on here. So I don't think that's too bad, and hopefully it's showing that it's actually pretty easy. And not much is known about Mercedes EQV. Usually it's going to be used for chauffeur work and hotel, airport taxis and stuff like that. But yeah, you know, it's been good fun. I really like it. I find the van very comfortable to be in. The armrests are comfortable. The paddles on this for the regen are brilliant, so you can go from full coast to really strong regen, and driving this van up and down hills. Electric is so much better for driving on hills than even an automatic or manual, certainly. Just easy, smooth. Coming downhill, I'd add like 8 miles of range to the battery after we come down one of the long hills, you know, so the regen's been great. What would I prefer about this van? Well, I'd like buttons on the inside of the tailgate to the back to be able to open either the top or both from the inside. In terms of ride, and it's very comfortable, but over some certain bumpy country roads you can tell you're kind of sat on the front axle, you kind of bounce a little bit, but all vans will get that. You can't really help that. It's because you're sat on the front axle here. Sat in the middle here is lovely and comfortable. It's comfortable and quiet. The headlights are brilliant. I don't have too many things to criticise it for. What I would say, like Teslas have a camping mode, you can just leave the climate control on all night in the background. To have the climate control on in this when the engine's not on, it's time limited. It only runs for a certain amount of time. So I think, unless I'm missing something in the menu, we didn't need it. It was mild, and at the end of the day, you could just turn it on. And I think what I'll do if I still get this van when it starts getting really cold is maybe just have it on all night and stay in it in cold temperatures and see how much battery that drains. I don't think it'd even be too much, to be honest. But it's been really good actually, and the really good, you know, what's always good is you know, just having family memories with a vehicle. And we've had a brilliant week of camping and travelling and just making every day up on the spot where we're going to go, what we're going to do. And the fact this was an EV had no issue, no part of that, you know, it was very simple. So yeah, good van. I think we'll sign off from now. You can probably tell, been a long day, been a fairly long week, fairly tired. We've now got to unpack all this, and you know, it's like washing machine on, unpacking, catching up at work. It's almost as bad as the prep when you're going to go away. So we've got that bit to deal with now, but I hope this was kind of a very different video, but you know, interesting to some. And I was actually seeing a couple of our subscribers on my travels as well, so a random campsite and in Oxfordshire, somebody said hello to me, recognised me, and another chap as well. So you know, hi to those people, and hi to the chap at the charger earlier that's hopefully subscribed after scanning the barcode on the side of the van. So thanks to all of you though for watching our videos, really appreciate it. There's lots more to follow, so stay tuned and we'll catch you in the next one.